I'm the owner of One of a Find, a vintage and upcycle furniture shop based in Carmarthen, Wales. On today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I've upcycled these two pine bedside cabinets using Frenchic Paint limited edition colour Dive In, which is one of the colours for this year, and also the IOD transfers, both of which we stock here in our shop.
Prep is really important to be able to get a nice, clean, smooth finish. So you want to wash your piece down using sugar soap. Then once you've done that, you want to rinse the sugar soap off using some just clean water and a damp cloth. Because the surface is quite shiny and I don't want the paint to slip and slide, I want it to be able to grip hold to that surface really good. So I'm just giving it a light scuff sand using some 220 grit sandpaper. Using a clean dry cloth, just wipe off the excess dust that was created when you were doing that scuff sand. This will make sure that you've got a clean, fresh surface ready to paint. The paint I'm using is Frenchic limited edition Dive In. Using the Frenchic tin opener to open that lid, and this is the colour. You can see that all the pigment has risen to the surface, so I'm just going to give it a quick stir just to make sure that all that pigment is nicely mixed in. Now we're ready for our first coat. So load your brush up like you would any other normal paint, not too much and not too little. Go in the direction of the wood grain, making sure that you don't overwork the paint. You will need a minimum of 2 coats. It will be touch dry within minutes, but don't be fooled. Make sure that you leave that full 2 hours before you go on to the second coat. The paint really does go a long way. Just by one dip of the brush, I'm able to cover the entire piece of this drawer. I'm going to be using the Iron Orchid Design Transfer Botanist Journal. So this transfer pack comes with 4 sheets, and I'm going to be working with 2 of the sheets for this one bedside cabinet. So all I'm doing here is placing it over in the area that I want it, and then using the grid lines, I'm going to be trimming off the excess with the scissors. So here I'm just positioning again, making sure that it is in the correct place. I'm removing it from the backing paper, and then I'm going to place down onto the drawers. And using your stick that comes with the transfer, you just want to rub over the transfer, and this will release it onto the surface. Here I'm just going to take a blade and remove the plastic, just so it makes it a little bit more easier for me to work with the remaining transfer. Then continue on as before with the remaining piece. Because there's a slight dip on these drawers, the transfers haven't quite lined up. So where there are missing pieces, I'm going to fix that by using the remaining transfer and then lining them up and just going over with the remaining transfer to be able to cover the area. I'm just going to take some leaves from the offcuts of transfers that weren't needed, and I'm going to place over in the area that you can see where I'm pointing to here, just to cover it up and make it all blend in. Then for the bottom drawer, you want to take the remaining transfer and make sure you can line it up, position it to see that it's going to fit. This is where I need to cut. So again, using those grid lines, I'm going to cut that remaining strip off because I'm not going to be needing that. So the second sheet of the transfer needs to match up to the middle drawer. So I'm just going to cut off the excess that I don't need, and then I'm just placing over in between the second and the third drawer to see where I need to be able to place that. And then taking my blade again, I'm just going to go right through the transfer and the backing paper, just so I've got a smaller section to work with for that remaining piece for the middle drawer. So I'm just lining up the transfer here onto the middle drawer. It doesn't quite match up. I'm not quite sure why, for whatever reason that is. So I'm just going to place it back onto the backing paper and then cut it into smaller sections to be able to allow me to match up correctly. So as before, place the transfer down. This had a slight overhang on, so I'm just going to take my scissors and trim off the excess. Then just as before, take your stick and rub the transfer onto the remaining part of the piece that you want it to adhere to. Once your transfer is on, you want to take then the plastic sheet that the transfer was on and just lightly rub over the surface to make sure that your transfer is fully adhere to the surface. And now for the third and final drawer, just make sure they all match up. Yes, take the transfer off the backing sheet. Hover over the area and then place down. Two bedside cabinets complete. This was a commission piece for a customer and she was really pleased with the finished result.
So if you like this video, please like and subscribe to follow for more hints and tips and furniture flips.